Sunday, January 4th. It's a worldwide professional wrestling spectacular that only happens once a year live from the Tokyo Dome in Japan. WrestleKingdom 9.
There's nowhere I'd rather be than ringside in Tokyo. What a night, what athletes, what an event.
Global Force Wrestling presents New Japan Pro Wrestling's WrestleKingdom 9, live from the Tokyo Dome, Sunday, January 4th, exclusively on pay-per-view.
Hey, this is Jeff Jarrett, the King of the Mountain and founder of Global Force Wrestling, and you're listening to WNS Podcast.
Froggy Fresh, hey Moneymaker Mac, a Christmas song. First thing on my list, go figure, it's a brand new John Cena action figure. Second thing on my list, guess what? It's a really cute girl with a really cute butt. Mike said, Froggy Fresh, hold up. Mom said you're not allowed to touch a girl's butt until you're grown up. That's right, I forgot about that rule. Not allowed to touch butts until you graduate from school. But that's alright, cause third on my list is a brand new John Cena watch for my wrist. Now we're moving on to item number 4. It's a brand new John Cena poster for my door. And check it out, y'all. Item number 5 is a brand new John Cena car that I can drive. Well, I can't really drive it cause it's too small, but I could if I was maybe like this tall. Christmas, come check out my wish list. Have I been a good boy? That's none of your business. I just want some good toys. Can I get a witness? Got all of my homies yelling Christmas. Come check out my wish list. Have I been a good boy? That's none of your business. I just want some good toys. Can I get a witness? Got all of my homies yelling Christmas.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 206 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, Player.fm, and Beyond Pod. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
On Twitter, follow the podcast at WNS Podcast. Follow Daniel at WNS_Daniel. Follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
There you go. Got a lot to talk about. Welcome to the show. Going to dive into some feedback. Going to talk about Raw. Got a special interview with Jeff Jarrett. Got some hot topics, Q&A, much more as we get closer and closer to Christmas. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
I have a full belly.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's good.
Had podcast family dinner.
Yes.
Had a good night. Ready for Christmas. Have you been a good boy, Abear?
I'm trying to be.
Yeah? Trying to be the best you can be?
Have I been a good boy? That's none of your business.
So yeah. So you ready for Christmas? Do you have all your shopping done?
Yes.
Yes?
You know what I want?
What do you want?
A John Cena action figure.
Yeah? I'm surprised it's not an amiibo.
I don't need people to buy me amiibos because
Yeah.
I buy myself amiibos.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You buy them for yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Doug, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah? You ready for Christmas to be here?
Yeah, I'm ready for the season to slow down.
Yeah. Time for everyone to relax. Take
Yeah.
it easy for a while.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So welcome to the show. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We'll dive right on into your feedback. First bid's coming from Richards. Richard saying, Graves suffered a second concussion on April 3rd, 2014 after a 6-man tag match. He was off of TV until freaking NXT R Evolution. I don't think WWE would have kept him off TV that long and then magically make him retire unless he absolutely had to. Is it just coincidence that CM Bitch came out with his lame quote, WWE did me wrong, end quote, BS? If I was trolling you would know, trust me. Hashtag CM sucks.
Well, like, first off, like, I don't give a fuck if you like CM Punk or not. I don't really care if you think CM Punk's a bitch or not. I mean, I really don't care. As far as I think the Graves to CM Punk comparison is like not applicable. Like Graves is not an integral part of their product like Punk was when all this went down. So they don't really care if Graves is there or not, because if they don't, they're not going to rush Graves back because their product doesn't depend on it. I mean, like Zack Ryder's out with an injury right now, and they're not going to rush Zack Ryder back to TV. You know why? Because Zack Ryder's not even on fucking TV.
Yeah.
Like he's not an integral part of the product. So, and you know what? Corey Graves is no Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder is no CM Punk. So there's a world of difference if they're asking guys to come back from injury, which I believe that we have. I believe there's enough there for us to speculate that may be true, especially with Cena returning from injury so often, so early.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that they asked Punk to come back, and there's a world of difference between CM Punk and Corey Graves, and that's no disrespect to Corey Graves. It's just that he's not as important a part of the product as Punk was when it happened.
Right.
So there is no comparison.
At the time of Punk's injury, he was a top tier guy, so they needed that.
Maybe
that star
the top,
power.
maybe the top tier guy.
Definitely.
Arguably, at least the top tier guy. He's not seen
one of, if not the.
Sure. At the worst, he was the number 2 guy in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's not me talking shit on Zack Ryder or Corey Graves. I mean, this isn't even about that. I'm just saying you can't make. First of all, I find it hard to believe that anyone would think that the WWE is above making a political statement like that. Of course they're not. They're a huge corporation. They are the number 1 corporation in their field in the world. They're going to make a political statement if it's in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's a political statement that the guy retires right after a guy comes out and throws a lot of shade their way as far as that specific issue. And I think it's more than convenient that they needed a guy to. I mean, they had a guy who just happened to retire like a week later,
right?
And a disposable guy. They may have looked at Corey. I mean, this is all speculative. Of course, we haven't heard anything, and we don't know this to be true. But I find it well within reason to believe that they looked at Corey Graves and said, "Kid, you're never gonna be a top guy. You want a job for us? Like, be a commentator. We're gonna."
Yeah.
And that's their way of making it a political play as far as we treat guys with that stuff. Well, now that's all speculative. I don't know, but it's also speculative on your end that Punk is lying. So who knows? And I don't care if you like him or not, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, and also like, I mean, just as we're sort of rolling into the new stuff, if I knew for sure or not you were a troll, and I knew you to be a troll for sure, then we wouldn't be reading your questions, and that would make you the least effective troll ever. So if I knew you were trolling me, then you're really bad at being a troll.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe.
So what do you think, Tyler?
I mean, I agree with Doug with all the stuff he says. Yeah.
Okay. Next bit of feedback we have is from Cody saying, I live in Delaware, which is south of Philly, next to Maryland. I went to a Maryland Championship Wrestling show in November, and I'm going to be at the Rumble in January. I had no idea that Chikara and Ring of Honor was up in Philly. I'll have to look that up. Thanks, guys.
Along with many others. I mean, you're like in a hotbed of it.
I would love to be in that area.
Yeah, that is very high area in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
So, just from the ECW days alone, Philly is definitely a wrestling town. So they got tons of stuff going on. But like I said, I got a big show this week. We're gonna dive on into the Raw that happened this past week. I guess the Christmas episode that they did. It felt like it was kind of just phoned in. There were a couple matches that stood out. The rest was kind of just time filler. Okay, let's get to the holiday break so we can give these guys a rest.
Yeah.
We kick things off with Ho Ho Hogan coming out, dressed as Santa Claus, addressing the universe.
He was the guest general manager.
Guest general manager who only made one match throughout the night.
Yeah.
His only appearance.
He didn't do shit.
Yeah, he talks about, all kinds of stuff. What you gonna do when Ho Ho Hogan's gonna run wild on you? John Cena comes out, Seth Rollins comes out, and they want to fight, and so Ho Ho Hogan decides to have the match right then and there. So, any thoughts on the opening segment?
No, I was okay with it. I know they sort of hit you over the head with the Christmas stuff, but they sort of hit you over the head with everything. So it's like, it's hard to like get up in arms about the Christmas shit. I mean, a lot of it was hokey. I mean,
Well, I remember like last year it was pretty cheesy. What they did, as far as Del Rio running over Santa Claus, and they had the heart monitor doing the jingle bells and stuff like that. Like, it's cheesy, but you also have to take into account it's Christmas. Have some fun, you know.
Sure. I mean, like I mean, that being said, I'm completely fine with the whole opening segment. I have no problem with it. I'm fine with Hogan dressed up as Santa Claus. I mean,
he was having fun.
Yeah, sure. He was. I mean, yeah, and people were happy to see him. So good for him. I mean,
yeah. So not too bad. So we got to see the opening matchup, John Cena going up against Seth Rollins. Once again, I know we've talked about it several times. These two have incredible chemistry together. Anytime they get a match going, it has potential. I felt like this match was pretty good. I would really like to see just a one-on-one matchup, no J&J security. Like, I know that Rollins is that type of heel where, you know, he's requiring extra help in some form or fashion. But I just want to see Rollins and Cena one-on-one in a match, traditional style, no outside interference, you know, give them 18 to 20 minutes or something like that.
We'll probably
eventually
like get that.
Yeah, and I think that they might
no J&J security.
Yeah, but they're definitely building Rollins as a top heel, especially since Lesnar is out. But these two put on they have really good chemistry together. I enjoyed their matchup. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, it was really good. I thought, like, in particular, like the when he went for the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then Rollins kicks him, as sometimes some guys do, that he, like, when he caught the leg and
transferred into the STF.
Right, STF. I thought that was, like, pretty cool. I felt like there was another spot. I just can't remember, but I thought that was pretty nifty. I don't think we've seen that. We've seen a number of guys develop the kick whenever he does the "you can't see me" part, but I don't think we ever. I mean, we might have seen it. I just don't recall it.
Counter from a counter,
right?
Which is really good.
I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree on that one. Tyler, what did you think about this opening match?
I didn't see it.
Didn't get to catch it? All right. But Cena ends up getting the victory. It says a lot of how much they're building Rollins with the reaction that the commentary team gave Cena for the win. They were acting like this is a huge win for Cena. They're like, he's done it. He's beat Rollins. Which is saying a lot for Rollins. Like, this has definitely been his breakout year. So I'm enjoying it. I hope we get to see more of these guys.
Go up from there.
Yeah. So
I really
cool.
Out of all the Shield guys, I sort of pegged Rollins as maybe like the
weak link.
Not the weak link, but the guy who I thought was gonna sort of be like an upper, like, mid-card babyface, like maybe like a Ziggler. I thought that was his career
we have
path.
like different theories for where they went, huh?
Yeah.
Than they actually turned out to be.
I sort of mean like how Ziggler has been for the majority of his career, not necessarily how he's being pushed right now. I sort of meant like an upper mid-card guy that people liked, that they would plug in sometimes, but ultimately he would just sort of guard the top of the mid-card or something. Right. But of all three of the guys, and I'm a guy who likes Dean Ambrose, and I'm a guy who didn't like Tyler Black very much on his independent stuff. Feel like he's sort of grown into his role more so than Reigns and Ambrose. His ring work has been there, but I felt like he's developed a lot of confidence with talking, and he's sort of become a better promo. I thought he was like not a very good his Tyler Black shit I thought was not a particularly good promo.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gained some confidence and he's comfortable speaking. I actually heard like Dr. Tom Pritchard, who used to run developmental before it changed over from FCW to NXT. He was on Cabana's podcast probably last week, I want to say it was, and he was sort of talking about the developmental system a little bit, and I remember him saying sort of like, I guess when Rollins was down, Rollins started there before the NXT changeover or whatever, and Dr. Tom, like, I guess said that he could tell that Rollins was not a guy who, he's not mean, but some people just don't like to be around other people. They're sort of a loner, sort of like they don't like to talk, maybe a little socially awkward or something, but he's sort of like was talking about how he's like help me help you, because you seem like you're not a guy who wants to like talk, and some of it he was sort of alluding to backstage politicking stuff, but I felt like in general he just meant like his personality and him being able to be outgoing, whether it be on stage or not.
Right.
And So, and I sort of felt like that, as Tyler Black is running Ring of Honor, I was one of those guys who he didn't quite click with me. I didn't quite get why people loved him, but I'm like, this is like rambling, but I mean, just a long way of saying that I felt like he's grown the most into his role out of the Shield guys, and he was the guy I least suspected to do so. Yeah,
and he's definitely stepped up his mic game. I really like the promo that he delivered on Raw before the matchup, where he comes out and he's like, the two of you in the ring, referring to Cena and Hogan, you guys are legends. You got what y'all have done in your time in this business has been nothing but outstanding. However, to quote John Cena himself, your time is up, my time is now. And he even did the throwback to things would be better if the Authority were still here. And he's really, I'm digging his mic work. His ring work is really good.
He's not a clever promo. He's not a guy like Punk who's gonna try to like wow you. He's not trying to he's not necessarily trying to get you to see how clever he is with his promo. He's not like Ambrose where he's trying to do too much of a character. I mean, he is. I don't mean to oversell that point. I mean, like Ambrose is a little more into his character than like Rollins is more of a straightforward type of guy. But he's like solid consistent promo.
Right.
And he just seems like a lot of confidence. So he doesn't necessarily have to be super witty.
And another thing that I like that Rollins is doing when he's on the mic is now he's addressing the crowd. Like they'll start booing him. He's like, well, hang on, hear me out. Like we don't get a whole lot of that whenever people are cutting promos these days. I mean, Stephanie is really good at it. Triple H is good at it. Cena does it from time to time. But I feel like Rollins is definitely stepping up in that category. I'm really enjoying his work, and I'm enjoying his chemistry with John Cena. It's like you'll see a match and they'll be repetitive and all that, and you're like, okay, I'm tired of this feud. And then there comes a feud along every once in a while, and you're like, I want to see more of this. And Rollins and Cena, give me many more matches. I want to see these guys tear the house down.
Yeah, are you comfortable going as far as I did? This isn't like the final report, like the verdict is out, but are you comfortable at this point saying you feel like he's grown the best into his role? I know Ambrose is sort of hotter with the crowd, but it feels like he's not where he should be or where they want him to be.
I feel like the booking for him is confused for Ambrose, whereas Rollins, they more so have a straight path for him. Whereas Ambrose, it's like, okay, we're going to go over here for a little bit, and then you're going to go this way, and then you're going to go up there a little bit. And,
also that it's good that he has the Money in the Bank contract too. That's also proof that actually out of all three of them, he's like the top guy out of all three of the ex-Shield members.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is a lot to the argument that booking has hurt Ambrose, because I feel like it has for me too. And I'm an Ambrose fan, and but I've been largely turned off by his last at least two feuds. I've been like, man, I don't. This is of no interest to me.
Yeah.
But it's a little hard. Like Ambrose is it's a little harder to do well what Ambrose does to make that come off well. Like Seth is more of a straightforward heel. He's not there's not any weird character work he's trying to do or anything.
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I'm just real satisfied with how far along he's come.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Rollins has developed his mic skills. He's a solid performer in the ring. Ambrose is a solid performer in the ring, but his character goes in so many different directions. It's like, am I taking you seriously, or are you bringing a hot dog cart out? Which direction are you going here? I'm kind of lost. I don't know how I should be taking you. Are you supposed to be the funny guy? Are you supposed to be the serious guy? I know you're supposed to be the crazy guy. We don't know what he's supposed to do.
He's the crazy funny guy.
I mean, there's a difference between crazy and crazy funny, but I feel like they're trying to hit all, it's like a drummer, you can't hit everything all at once. You have to hit at least two or three things.
Only got 2 arms.
Yeah. And so, when there's 6 pieces around you, you can only do so much. And, I feel like Rollins is the triangle. You just ding, Okay, there you go. Got it.
But he's like he's like metronome though. He's like on beat. He's like, this is what it is, and I'm
Ding,
like I'm not off beat. I'm like exactly what I should be. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like when they try to do too much funny stuff with Ambrose, and I feel like that hurts his credibility whenever it comes to like, now we want you to do like a two crazy guy match with Wyatt. Like, I don't buy in. Like, you're just doing comedy. And I'm not saying serious guys can't ever touch comedy, because guys like Foley and The Rock prove that right off the bat. But it's a lot to ask of someone who is far less established and hasn't got to that height of their career yet. And also like to just so drastically go from like that sort of zany thing to like me and this other crazy guy like really want to beat the shit out of each other.
You can't go from he's so crazy to oh my god, he's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make that switch just like that.
Right.
You have to lean one way and then lean the other way. You can't just like jolt. So, but yeah,
I feel like we've said all this before. I just felt like giving
giving credit.
Sure, Rollins needs some props, I guess.
Yeah, he is. I mean, 2014, undeniably, this has been his year.
You know, also I feel like they were trying to skyrocket Roman until he got hurt.
Definitely, you know, they want to build him as an established guy. He just needs a little bit of time on the mic, and you know, keep working on the ring, keep working on the mic skills, and you will be one of those top players. Now, I know they're definitely doing sort of like a sink or swim kind of thing with him, you know, where it's like, let's see if this works, and if he can grab the ball and run with it, then hey, it worked out for the better, and if not, well, we'll come up with something else.
I think they're asking. I know we sort of started saying this like a while back, like when it was like apparent that they were going to go with him, or at least wanted to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
That I felt like it was too much too soon. Like, I don't know why they can't just give him until 32. Like, 32 would be a great coming out party as a top guy. Like, he could use that time, and I feel like that is an adequate time, and he will be what you want him to be by that time. But I feel like, especially derailed by injury, is too much too soon for us to take that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's
but he's coming back to feud with Big Show, and I was like, is Big Show going to give him the bump and credibility that he needs? No, I don't feel like it. I don't know.
From a man who switches back and forth so frequently, he can win a match, he'll lose a match at a drop of a hat. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him. You know, he's already established. But, you know, when it's going up against someone who's trying to be on the rise, and you put him up against a person where the wins and losses don't really count or matter, you know, it's not really going to help you that much.
I mean, I'm probably overplaying the Big Show thing, because I'm sure Roman will be in the Rumble and not actually have a match at the Rumble. But still, he seems like that's the guy he's mixing it up with right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's still plenty of weeks to go for the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, like, are they going to toss him against Mark Henry next? Or, you know, like, where are they going to go with this? So
I would.
Yeah.
I don't think stylistically they don't match up well.
Yeah.
And I like Mark Henry a lot. I'm just saying that that's not from an in-ring standpoint. That's not a good matchup for those guys.
Well, they had a lot of mismatches on Raw this past week. The first one was Fandango defeating Jack Swagger, and I know we were just talking about Fandango last week about, you know, that you're building him up for a month and then you just drop him to whoever. And now you have him beating Jack Swagger, who was in a title match against Rusev just 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what they're going with, but
I feel like they're giving him another. They changed the gimmick. They differed it up a bit, and I think they're going to give him another chance to see what he can do. It's still not a main event gimmick to me, but like not every guy's a main eventer. So but I sort of like the salsa gimmick. I mean, not that I care about salsa or anything. I'm just saying, like,
you just want to see Rosa.
I mean, if I'm picking a diva, I mean, Rosa's not the one. I'm just saying. and there's nothing wrong with Rosa. I'm just saying, I'm ugly as fuck. I'm not telling anybody they're less attractive than anybody. I'm just saying it's not about Rosa either. It's just I sort of like the sort of darker turn gimmick. I think it sort of works. I mean, I think it's a fine mid-card gimmick. I don't know. I sort of like go through periods of liking him and periods of not liking him. So I don't know. We'll see what he does.
That could be the problem, because I'm in a state of dislike right now. So, but maybe that'll change as he
You just missed
progresses.
the old theme song.
Well, that was like the one thing that I liked about him at the time, and then they changed that. And it's like,
You
okay,
like the dancing, and you like
come on.
the bird law that was in
Bird
effect.
law.
Top rope leg drop is pretty rad.
Yeah, but how long is he going to be able to pull that off?
Until he cracks his tailbone off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. So, but Fandango ends up getting the victory over Jack Swagger. Clean win. Very strange. But the next matchup we got to see, R-Truth going up against Adam Rose. Another very short match, very odd pairing. R-Truth ends up getting the win to the shock of everyone. And
Bunny in the neck brace.
Bunny was still in the neck brace, and so Adam Rose was unhappy with the loss and
Ripped it off.
and attacked Bunny and kicked him and punched him and threw him into the stairs, and
Poor Bunny.
all the other party goers were just
Ran
standing there and watching. I mean, like, whoa, dude, what are you doing? Not cool. So it looks like we may have finally
Fuck you, Entourage.
got the Adam Rose heel turn, I guess.
I feel like he's sort of more or less turned already.
Yeah, but now it's more blatant.
Sure.
Like, oh, in case you haven't established this
And then
by
we'll
now.
see how long that goes.
Yeah. Before the bunny comes back Thursday. So, yeah. But after that, we got to see Big Show going up against Roman Reigns. And before the matchup, they both had the pre-recorded videos talking to one another. You know, it's like Big Show saying, oh, I've got something for Roman Reigns. And that's a fist. And Roman
Fisting.
Reigns. Yeah, lots of fisting. So, and Roman Reigns. I think that these two guys do better with the pre-recorded videos. But what did you think about the matchup, Doug?
It was fine, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think there was a lot to it. I mean,
Yeah, it ended in a count out with Big Show, or with Roman Reigns, I should say, getting the victory.
right.
Big Show getting mad and throwing the table and walking off, and that was about it. So the crowd, I don't know how you felt about the crowd. I thought they were very odd. They seemed to have a lack of focus. And I did say this on Twitter. It's like, I know that, Raw wasn't exactly putting out their A game this week. Like, this wasn't like the best show to recommend to someone.
Right.
But, you could still, I don't know. They were chanting some really odd things.
Like, live wrestling is still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Even not the greatest. I've been to some shit shows and had fun. I mean, I don't know.
Yep. So, but it was, I don't know. It was strange. The match was okay. Roman Reigns ended up getting the victory, so I guess they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna continue this feud or not, but I guess we'll have to look forward to the future for that one. But that takes us into the next matchup: Natalya going up against Brie Bella. Yes, we got to hear that theme. Got to hear the Brie mode theme, which I can't stand.
You
but
like it?
I do not.
See, Natty's on a roll. See?
Huh?
Natty's on a roll. She beat
Yeah.
Charlotte. She beat Brie.
Mm-hmm. Brie twice.
Yeah, that's true.
So could be next in line for the.
So what do you make of this Tyson thing? Because
fact.
He was wearing the Brie, not the Brie, but the Nikki hat or whatever. One of the Bellas.
Yeah.
It said Fearless, but it also had the double B symbol, so it might be like both of them on the same hat or whatever.
At the end of the match, they didn't really show him do anything, but
Well, I thought he was
King
going to
said
get
something. And he's like, oh, he said Natalya did something to Tyson, but they panned off. They didn't show it.
She knocked the hat off of him. But he was wearing that, so I thought when she speared her off the ropes, he was going to go check on her again. But he didn't. He didn't even act concerned about her on the ground.
Yeah.
But he was wearing the hat.
Yeah.
And he was concerned last week. So it was I didn't know.
He got put in check by Natalya.
But if they were going to run with that, you would think he would look like he wanted to go over there or look concerned at least, even though he wouldn't, and it would be apparent.
That's my friend. I gotta check on her.
It would be apparent that he would want to go over there, but he knew better than to in front of Natty.
Yeah.
But he looked like he didn't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
And so it didn't gel with me from last week.
And then he was like, "Yeah, go Natalya. You got this." Like he didn't have his headphones on. He wasn't listening to music.
He wasn't in front of her trying to take her shine or anything.
What happened there?
He fucked up the least this week, and this is the week Natalya decided to slap his hat off.
Yeah.
And shit. It was totally weird.
Very weird.
I don't get it.
She wants the title. That's all.
That's fine, but it just doesn't gel with the story they've been telling at this point.
Hey, it's do whatever you want.
What cracked me up is Natalya, after the matchup, after she got the win, she picks up the title, holds it over her over her head. Now, what does that to you symbolize?
I'm coming for this.
And Michael Cole says, "Oh, I wonder if she wants a title shot."
No shit.
No shit.
No, I think she just wants to hold that belt.
It's like, hey, you forgot this. So,
well, I don't. It's so weird that like Michael Cole could like
acknowledge what's happening in the ring.
Well, no, he called like later on in the night. He called the Michinoku driver, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like he tried to cut.
People were flipping out over that. He called something.
Well, he called a move and they slapped him down in the match. Like, don't you fucking do that. So I don't know why we would expect him to know any be credible at any other point.
I don't know why they shun that. It's just it drives me nuts. But yeah. So Natalya, Natty, whatever, she gets the win. And the next matchup we got to see was a 3-on-2 match, and I know, Doug, you voiced your opinion on the podcast page on Facebook about this. Los Matadores and El Torito going up against Gold and Stardust.
Yeah, babyfaces should never, as a rule, have the numbers advantage because, like I said there, I'll just repeat myself. If they lose, they're incompetent. If they win, they're assholes. Like, there is no good way for the baby faces to have a match with the numbers advantage.
But it's 2.5.
Doesn't matter. 2.5 is more than 2.
That is.
And that's insulting the little people, Daniel.
Well, I'm just going based on comments that I saw.
Sure.
I'm just reporting, I'm giving you a platform to respond to people who are questioning.
Oh, in a numerical equation, true or false, is it true that 2.5 is greater than 2?
Yes.
Then what I said is fact remains.
As Tyson Kidd would say, fact. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, nothing special out of this matchup. I did get a chuckle seeing El Torito and the antlers.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah,
but
it's for the kids.
Yeah, but they should have had one of the Los Matadores and Torito, and then one of Los Matadores should have just accompanied them to the ring if they wanted to play that.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Matadores and Michael Cole versus whoever. It's like, if Michael Cole was a babyface and they have the advantage, it's a bad booking decision, period.
Yep.
To me, I mean, it's
going to be fun on a bun getting to see the Ascension show up, which is supposedly, at least from the video, from what I gathered from what they said on the video, on the promo video on Raw, it's going to be happening next week.
Yeah, I think they did say that.
Yeah, they're like, your time is up, next week. Ride the lightning.
I guess they're
very throwback tag team promo video.
It's very sticky.
Yeah.
I'm sort of okay with that because a lot of the guys coming up from NXT have a very sticky gimmick or whatever. I don't think they can. I don't see them as major players anyway, guys. I know a lot of people are saying they can't wait for them to get there. From what I've seen of them, I don't think they're all that. I mean, they're just big dudes who can squash.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't really see too much of them in NXT. Well, I didn't watch NXT that much.
Well, they won their match. I guess they're going to do that. We're sort of on the main roster. We're also going to dip down in NXT.
Here and there.
They do that
once in a while.
Because this past week on NXT, they won their match against
Enzo
and
how you doing?
Big Cass.
Yeah.
That's Tyler's guys right there.
I like Enzo too.
Can't teach that.
Enzo's cool. He's just not a great worker. It's just all a gimmick. It's a good gimmick though.
Yeah, it's an entertaining gimmick that we're probably not going to see in the WWE or on the main roster.
He's probably going to change, or he's going to be too goofy.
I don't know, man. If
I like it, really.
If Bo Dallas and fucking Adam Rose and the Ascension, if all those guys call up in the same gimmick, why not Enzo?
That's true.
Enzo's sort of like this
he's the Scotty too hottie.
I thought. See, to me, he's he's sort of like a rock star spud of the WWE. He's like the little guy who's really in your face, energetic and whatever. Not necessarily the greatest worker.
He's the Chihuahua of the WWE.
Sure, I don't know.
He's like the small dude who's I don't care.
Let's go. Let's fight.
Let's do it. How you doing?
Hey, soft.
Do you think he's a good worker though? Because I don't think he's a good worker. It's just the gimmick is cool to me.
I don't think he's nothing special, but I don't think he sucks.
His hair is special.
well, I mean, anything he wears in his attire and his gimmick is,
facial
I
hair.
think, is hilarious.
He can talk, no doubt. I could see him
Yes.
being like a manager. I think.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he have a little stable of guys.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny. How you doing?
I hope he because I didn't really know him before. I don't know. I mean, if he did any indie stuff or not, but like just hearing this guy and seeing his gimmick, I really hope he's successful. Because a lot of people are like, I like this. I like those, people who come from these, other indie promotions.
Mhm.
Like I want them to be successful too. And they point
Oh,
out
yeah.
those other than the guys that kind of make stuff for themselves in WWE.
Yeah.
But like, I hope he is successful because a lot of people come up and they're just,
I saw-
look at Adam Rose, look at
I love the way he moves, where he's like,
yeah,
it's like the weird like
Jerky.
like,
Yeah.
but like stiff like jerky stuff, and it just looks cool.
I agree.
It's entertaining.
Yeah,
That's entertainment.
he's not a great
And you
wrestler. Though,
Can't
guys.
teach that. Or can you?
He's like, dude, I smelled her hair.
Well, that's how they lost to Ascension. That's how we brought him up. They lost to Ascension this week on NXT.
Tagged
Because-
himself in.
Well, he was trying to impress what's her name?
Sister.
No.
Who was it for?
Oh, I can't think of her name.
I forgot. I know.
I want to say it starts with. I don't know. Well, you Google. I'm gonna stall.
You stall.
I'm
Google
stalling.
him.
Tell
She
us about the matchup.
She does hair. It was not much of a match. They cut this killer promo on the Ascension. Told them they were soft. They got. Then they
I gotta
got.
watch this.
Then they got beat in like 30 seconds.
It was soft.
Big
Oh
Ca-
yeah, well you're soft. So
well, they spelled it out like they do.
yeah.
But like big Cass held his own for about 30 seconds. Enzo tagged himself in to impress.
Carmella? Yeah.
That sounds right.
Carmella, valet of
yeah.
Enzo and Amore,
Yes.
Owen Cassidy.
And he tagged himself in to impress her, and they just beat his ass.
Yeah. I did get to see that. That was pretty entertaining.
I hope he is.
That's entertainment. No? Okay. Can't teach that. That's right. So, so Los Matadores and El Torito end up getting the victory, which takes us into the next matchup, Intercontinental Championship match. Luke Harper decided to invoke his rematch clause. Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper. I thought this was probably the matchup of the night. They had, they've had really good chemistry as well. Ziggler ends up retaining. Before the matchup even got started, Harper just attacked the holy hell out of
Did you
him.
see that he did that? What was that super kick to him, and he like even phased him? And
Yes!
he did that lariat.
Yeah, I love that because he was
I was
going.
like, was that a mistake?
No,
Oh.
he was going to do it. He got super kicked, kept spinning, and then delivered the lariat, and then went down. I love that spot. But Doug, what do you think about the matchup?
I mean, I 100% agree with everything you guys said. It was a good match, really good match. Like you said, they have really good chemistry. Like Tyler said, the spot with the super kick mid discus lariat where he just no-sold it and then gave it to him anyway was really cool. The finish, I like the finish because it sort of protects Harper.
Yeah.
He ate two super kicks and the zigzag. And
Yeah.
then, I don't know. Like you said, these guys got good chemistry. Like, I don't know. It's probably one of the feuds that I'm like most up on that they've had. So.
This is another one of those where it's like I can see these two just keep it going.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Have the Cena Rollins and then
Cena Rollins, Luke Harper, and Ziggler, and then yeah, I'm good. I thought Wyatt and Ambrose had an okay match. I remember just like when they first sort of teased it, I was like, okay, I'm interested by this, but it just fell off so fast. The Ambrose and Wyatt feud, because that was the third one that I was digging from Raw. But it is what it was. But Ziggler ends up retaining after a great matchup with Luke Harper, and that takes us into Piper's Pit. So we get a nice little appearance from Roddy Piper. His guest is Rusev and Lana. I don't remember exactly what he was talking to them about, but he did say he had a present with a great big bow.
He said they asked for the time to tell America why they're like what them celebrating Christmas was stupid.
Shut up.
I mean, I don't think they were saying the holiday is stupid. I think they were saying like the way that Americans go about celebrating is stupid. I assume. This sounds like a really dumb question, but I mean, I assume like people from Russia celebrate Christmas. I assume
For the most part,
I would
think.
assume, right? I don't know.
I think. I don't know.
Even like in like a secular way, where like you're just
There's
about
anyone-
giving gifts and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If there's anyone in Russia who's listening,
Let us know.
please let us know.
well, they weren't shit talking Christmas. They were just shit talking like
The way you celebrate,
Sure.
stupid.
You saw.
We celebrate so much better than you. So,
Vladimir
But,
Putin gives us gifts.
but that brought out Ryback with a great big bow, and decided to attack Rusev. And I'm not digging this. I don't know how
It's
this
not
is
good
gonna,
for both of them if they're trying to build up Ryback, and then I feel like Rusev is still not built up to me. Like I
Yeah.
feel like they're feeding people to Rusev, but I feel like he's in the same spot.
right.
So this is just what you're just gonna crush Ryback.
Well, you're Christian, yeah, pretty much. So I don't know, Doug. What do you think about Rusev and versus Ryback?
I mean, I disagree with you guys. I'm sort of intrigued. Like my interest is peaked. I'm like, what? I want to see what these guys can do together, and I disagree that Ryback's getting fed to Rusev. I think Ryback's the guy who's supposed to benefit from.
He's the one to dethrone.
I think he's the guy who beats Rusev, and that's supposed to start his elevation. I feel like they finally got behind Ziggler, and that's like a guy they're like, we need to start pushing some guys. I think Ryback's another guy they're going to get behind.
Yeah.
I think it starts with Rusev. Maybe not initially. He may not. I expect them to have a singles match at the Rumble. I think that's what we're building to. I don't know if it's right off the bat he goes over with him, but before the feud's over, I expect Ryback to be the guy who dethrones Rusev.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because if you think about it, who else is going to go over a guy like Rusev?
it would be someone who's going up.
Well, I feel like I think for a while I felt like I thought that Rusev was sort of being built as like a secondary feud, not a secondary, but a sort of lower end feud for Cena, like enough where that could be like a semi-main event like match for like a bigger pay-per-view. Like they have a main event, but then also Cena's not in the main, so he's going to get Rusev. And I thought like Cena would eventually.
I know the talk was maybe WrestleMania.
Sure, but now I think Rusev is going to be used as a stepping stone for Ryback. It's not going to kill Rusev to lose once, as long as it's going to be a guy who they're going to make out of it or start making out of it. I mean, like Rusev still has a ton of credibility built up. I mean, he can't lose to Ryback and then they fuck Ryback around and put him back where he was. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But I think Ryback, I'm sort of intrigued. I think they can have a good match. I think it's possible. So I'm intrigued, and I think Ryback's the guy who beats Rusev.
Yeah.
He's hurdy.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't stop saying
Ryback.
You disagree? You guys don't see that?
I do see it, but I don't know. Like
I mean, not
feeling.
intrigued by the match, but you said you thought he was getting fed to Rusev. That's what I mean.
I still feel like that, but you do have a good point because who is the guy who will beat Rusev? And I feel like shouldn't be a top guy or a super top guy that beats him or whatever.
Well, not that it shouldn't be, but I sort of assumed that's how it was going to
Cena.
I thought it was going to play out that he's being built up to like be a semi-main event like on a pay-per-view with Cena, and Cena was going to be the guy who beat him.
Yeah.
Who else beats him? I don't see anybody else.
Couldn't bring in Kurt Angle.
Sure, I don't see that.
No.
But I don't see anybody else other than Cena except for Ryback. I think Ryback makes sense.
But also, I could see them fucking over Ryback. I could see that too.
I don't see it. I think
My only concern with it is the length of the match. Like, what kind of match are they going to put on?
10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
You don't want to see.
You can't have a long drawn out match, and even 10 is kind of long for these guys.
Look, you don't want to see either one of these guys selling because they're both big monster men. You don't want to see these guys sell. So they're
Right.
just gonna
Just beat
get
the
in
holy
there.
hell out of each other.
10 minutes tops. They're just gonna throw fucking bombs at each other.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I'm sort of intrigued. I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to see either one of these guys selling for the.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not saying in the sense of no sell everyone's offense. I mean, like, I don't want to see a heat segment where Ryback's selling for 4 minutes or Rusev is selling for 4 minutes. Like, I thought, like, they're just gonna throw bombs, and then like I see like the dust clears and Ryback's standing.
He's
there.
gonna give it all he has, and another guy's gonna give it all he has, or I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, like stuff like that.
I think the reason why I'm like so reserved about this is because like I was burned so badly by Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. Like at the time,
but this isn't that.
At the time, I didn't know about their contract status and all that. But I was like, oh my God, these are like two huge dudes who are just gonna go, balls to the wall, and end up just stinking up the joint.
But the thing about that is, those guys were big stars, so you had an expectation of them having a really great match.
Right.
This is a low key thing. Like these guys aren't mega stars.
Right.
They're just like two Hoss dudes are gonna beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
And that could be cool. I mean,
it could be. I'm just, I will wait to reserve judgment until I've seen the match. How about that?
Sure. I mean,
okay.
You don't have to be intrigued. I'm sort of intrigued just because I just want to see how they put. I'm intrigued by how they're going to put a match together where they're going to minimize the selling for each guy, but still be able to throw bombs. It's like this weird puzzle I'm trying to put together in my own head, so I want to see how they put it together.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do think that Ryback's the guy. As far as, do you see Ryback being the guy to go over him?
I could see it, but in another sense, no.
I hope he is.
I'm split.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys this. Take Ryback off the table, take Cena off the table.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Ryback, who are you building this guy for?
Ziggler. He's the way that they've been booking him lately is you can throw everything in the kitchen sink at this guy and he's still going to kick out. He is not going to give up as long as the fans are behind him. And I think that would be I think they would put on a great match because it's big man, little man. B, you've got the resiliency of Ziggler, who also sells like a mother. I think that would be a good one.
Roman Reigns. Why
I feel like if you're fast tracking Roman, that's like a sidetrack. That's like you're off the path.
Yeah.
I can see Ziggler. I can see if they do it. I don't know how they get Ziggler and him to there, but I can see that happening, and I think they could have a good match for sure. But
yeah.
I think Roman is a guy who could beat him or should beat him at least, theoretically. But if Roman's on the path to Mania, that's a detour.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's we're gonna stop over here real quick.
Right.
And I'm gonna grab some.
Well,
I don't know.
They did that. What was it? He was on the fast track, and then remember how I said, "Oh, I can see him fighting Seth Rollins." Like, no, and he fought Seth Rollins for a little bit.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not. It feels like a detour, but do you feel like? I mean, is Rusev sort of your best booked heel outside of Brock Lesnar
and Rollins? But
Rollins has got a lot of credibility lately with wins, but or actually he just lost to Ziggler, and not that that's discredits his ability, but I'm saying like from booked strongly like this.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, the reason why I would say no to Reigns is because they're going to be trying to book him towards the main title as opposed to the second tier title. So.
Well, hey,
like you said, I mean, I feel like that would be
our house show. We get to see them fight.
Yeah, we're gonna let's see their chemistry at the house show because they're going to be facing each other.
Rusev and Reigns. They already had a shitty TV match. They had a really bad TV match on. Was it SmackDown or was it main event? May have even been Raw. They had a really bad 8-minute match. It was like people were like, "Oh,
what's being booked is for the United States title." So we'll have to see.
They had a really bad match on TV.
But going back to the Ryback thing, I just feel like, they've.
I mean, they did. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Oh well, tell us about that after we get.
I will.
Okay.
Oh, I will.
Oh, he told you a story about it.
Who?
Oh fuck it! Come on. I don't know. Let's move on. Just tell us.
Yeah. So we'll go.
But with Ryback, I always I felt that. They were trying to build him up, and he wasn't successful, and they brought him down. It's just kind of a back and forth thing with Ryback. So, I mean, I hope that they can give him a push.
Yeah. Time will tell.
But I feel like, you don't know what they're going to do with, I don't know.
Yeah. We're having some good discussions this week. I'm liking this. Had to talk about Rollins, talking about who's going to be the one to beat Rusev. I'm liking this. So, Rusev Machka. So next up, we got to see a 3-on-3 Divas match, tag match, Santa's Little Helpers. Emma, Naomi, Alicia Fox going up against Paige, Cameron, and Summer Rae. Yeah, I mean, it's your traditional Divas tag match where they start off normal. The Divas! And then, you know, then they have their little breakdown, and then someone wins. And the winning team happened to be Emma, Naomi, and Alicia Fox. Thoughts on the matchup?
I thought it was a pretty fun little match, to be honest. I don't know. It was not much, but it was fun.
I was sitting there with my fiance as they were making all their entrances, and she looked at whenever Paige came out. She was like, "I like hers the most." I was like, "Yeah, that's
well,
cool."
her what? Like her entrance
her
or her
outfit? Yeah,
she had like the black Santa hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Paige's ass.
Paige's ass.
Look.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Sorry.
Naomi, like, super athletic. I know we say it all the time because she is, but she doesn't like connect enough with any of her moves. You notice, like, when she does like the front flip. Whoa, I almost couldn't say that.
Yeah.
Front flip lariat and like just a lot of her offense. It's like real.
It just seems to be like grazing.
She doesn't make a lot of contact.
It's the Wade Barrett of.
She'll make contact with her butt though when she hits.
To me, she looks like. It's like
the Wade Barrett.
It's just like she's doing it like
Wade Barrett waist or forearm.
To me, it's
elbow.
like a super athletic dance that she does, where it doesn't look like a confrontation. It doesn't look like
It's
a conflict.
flashy.
It's but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's happening. Like she's got the choreography down, but she doesn't. It doesn't look like a fight. It looks like a dance.
Right.
Like she's doing like cool
Step,
stuff,
twist, turn, pivot.
but it doesn't ever look
my
like
butt
she's
in
in a
your
fight
face.
to me.
Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. That's what it's called. Kiss my ass.
And then
They should change it to that instead of the
she
rear
actually
view.
like oh god, what's
Cameron.
Cameron comes immediately.
Right.
Cameron was just sort of like slapping the shit out of like Emma, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what I want. Like immediately after Naomi, I was like, there's like no contact at all, and then Cameron just starts like slapping the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Am I mixing their names up? I feel like I'm mixing their names up. Whatever.
No.
Okay.
Do you want to use Universe B names?
Oh, see, I'm so out of practice of that because we're on hiatus. But,
Isn't it returning soon?
January.
Oh, all right.
January 4th, like we're gonna be at that house show.
Oh, we got a lot going on. We got a house show. We got New Japan and Total Divas.
Well, New Japan will be like 2:00 in the morning. They'll replay it at like 7 or something.
Yeah.
But like the traditional Sunday night slot.
And you'll get all the details on that in just a few minutes when we talk to our buddy Jeff Jarrett.
It would have been a perfect
Good
segue
stuff.
if this had been the main event. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's the main event.
We paused for that awkwardness so people would be like, oh, the interview's coming up next. And they're just going to talk about the last two matches afterwards. No, we're just, no. Nope. We'll save that segue for later. So it'll be ill-timed, but, you know, whatever. So, so Emma, Naomi, Alicia Fox end up getting the win. Takes us into the next matchup. Miz going up against Jey Uso.
Alicia Fox, the big show of the Divas division.
What?
Babyface heel, babyface heel.
Oh,
babyface.
yeah. It's like whoever she's teaming up with this week. That's what side she's on. So, yeah. So Miz going up against Jey Uso. No one paying attention to the match whatsoever. They're all paying attention to Damien Mizdow. He had to run because that's what he's got.
I missed part of this match.
Yeah. Well, you didn't miss much as far as ring work because everyone was paying attention to Mizdow.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, fans were chanting Mizdow's better, Mizdow's awesome, all that good stuff. So, Miz ended up getting the victory.
It's already too late for them to pull the trigger of like them fighting.
No, the way they're the way they're building it, it's still
getting jealous.
There's still potential.
I mean, it's probably gonna get old. I mean,
mean,
it's already old to me, but what I mean is like, hey, you can pull the trigger.
It's
now.
sort of like a hit and miss kind of thing for me, where it's like, okay, this week I can see them pulling the trigger pretty soon, and then the next week is like, okay, this has run its course, you know. But like this week, it was one of those where I'm like, okay, I'm still into it. You know, they had like a backstage segment or whatever with the Miz, and you know, Mizdow was there, and he's like, I'm gonna allow you to sing along with the Christmas carol. And jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride. And he, lets Mizdow go, and he opens up his mouth, and he goes, oh, sorry, we're out of time. And, it cuts out. So, they're still doing the, you're imitating me. I'm more important than you kind of thing. And, when Miz first came out for his entrance, fans are booing him. And then, about 3 or 4 seconds later, Mizdow comes up and yay! So, and it was really funny because, Miz does this little thing where he takes off his sunglasses, and he's got his, he's already got his jacket off. So he takes the sunglasses off and tosses them over, and everyone's booing. And then, he turns around to start getting ready for the matchup. And so that's when Mizdow was doing the same thing. And so the crowd reacts to him in a positive manner. So you see Miz sort of being like, all right, yeah, the fans are behind me, So he's doing a really good job, at least, of delivering. And, the fans, he raises his arms up, and the fans are boo. And so, they're chanting, we want Mizdow. And so Miz points to Mizdow, and they cheer. And he's like, get up here, get on the apron. And, so he hops up, the fans are cheering, yay! And he goes, now get down! And so I'm at least enjoying that part. So, but like I said, the match, no one was paying attention to because all the eyes are on Mizdow. Doug, any thoughts on the matchup?
No, I mean, it's still really distracting, and I'm actually just really done with it. I'm over it. So
all done.
Done.
No more. So, but yeah, so Miz ends up getting the victory. And that takes us into the main event match, a Miracle on 34th Street fight.
They do it every year.
If you've never been to a WWE house show, they do stuff like this all the time. It's like, oh, it's a Beaumont street fight. Oh, it's a Dallas street fight. Oh, it's a insert city name street fight, Just something to make it feel a little more special
Cheap
for
pop.
you. Cheap pop. Yep, that's right. So Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in a street fight. Christmas themed stuff, candy cane, kendo stick, and all the presents and trees and fun stuff. I didn't dislike this match. It was a fun match. But I just don't know, especially right after their TLC match, just like 2 weeks
I
after.
kind of feel like they should be done.
I do as well. But the way it ended makes me think that this is going to continue because Bray Wyatt ends up getting the victory, but Dean Ambrose, after the match, attacks Bray Wyatt and puts him through a table. So what did y'all think about the matchup?
I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Just all right?
I don't know. I don't think it was horrible, but I'm ready for it to go away.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was all that, but I felt like for whatever reason, I felt like there was more intensity present than their TLC main event. I don't know why that sort of sounds weird, and especially with the whole.
I think since the previous 2.5 hours wasn't a full spot fest.
Sure. I mean, that's completely valid argument and is true, but I don't know. They just hit you over the head with everything. Like there was they could do Christmas without this, and they didn't. But I don't know. It's fine for what it was. It was fine.
Yeah. And it sent the fans home happy with Ambrose putting Bray through the table. So Christmas miracles and all of that. So good stuff. Not too bad. Like I said, it was more for entertainment value more than anything. Just something to get the guys through Monday so they can go home and be with their families. So now it's time for something very special. Probably the reason why a lot of you are tuning in to the show this week. So here we go.
You're listening to a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week, he is the CEO of Global Force Wrestling. He's been all over the world getting the best talent to come together. The one and only Jeff Jarrett. Mr. Jarrett, welcome to the show.
Appreciate your time today, guys. Looking forward to this. We've had this scheduled for quite some time, so I'm ready to get down talking some Global Force Wrestling and New Japan and WrestleKingdom 9.
Absolutely. It's going to be a huge show coming up. For all the information, you can go to globalforcewrestling.com. You can follow you at Real Jeff Jarrett and also at GFW Wrestling. Global Force Wrestling is going to be presenting WrestleKingdom 9 in the Tokyo Dome on Sunday, January 4th. It's going to be a live pay-per-view. If you want to stay up, it's going to be at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. They're going to have a replay time of 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You can also watch it on the Flips app. You're going to see AJ Styles, the Bullet Club, Mr. Jeff Jarrett himself, many more on there. As far as the presentation for WrestleKingdom, how did that come about? Who approached who in the aspect of this?
Good question. And that all came about, it goes back to probably late March or April, right around the time that I launched the company's name, April 7th, 2014. New Japan reached out, and they knew that they wanted to bring they wanted to bring New Japan to the North American market. And so we sat down and strategized, and it became obvious real quick what better way than to make a splash to enter into the North American market with their biggest show of the year, the Tokyo Dome. This is WrestleKingdom 9, but I believe this is the 24th year that they've had this event. So it was real obvious that this was the event, and so we put the wheels in motion and made it happen. And we couldn't be happier thus far with the promotion and the hype and just everything coming together.
Very cool. And not only are you taking it to a new level, you're bringing it even further with the addition of Jim Ross. He's going to be doing the commentary, and that got the internet buzzing. People were saying, hey, if Jim Ross is going to be here, I want to be a part of this. I want to see what's going on. So how did that come about, and are there any plans with you to work with him possibly on a regular basis?
How it came about, that's a two-part question. How it came about is, like I said, New Japan and Global Force sort of had to cement their relationship, and we did, and we made it official back in August at the Seibu Dome. Where I went over there and made a formality, but we had our agreement in place, and then we turned to the pay-per-view providers as it related to the Dome show and put those 8, 9, 10 contracts in place, and then the Flips guys came on board. And then the next logical step was, if we're going to present it to the North American English-speaking market, we need to find 2 announcers. And so when you start looking around, it was a no-brainer. Jim Ross, in my opinion, has no peers. He's the voice of this wrestling fans' generation. He's had a main event run that goes back to the Clash of Champions days. I mean, he's been on the top of his game, of his business, what he does in this business for over 20 years. And so, like I said, it was a no-brainer. I've done business with his representation on and off for years. Great group of people, fair, honest, stand-up guys. And so we communicated, then got into the negotiations, and Jim stayed out of it. And then it's funny because, in years past, Jim dealt with the agents of the talent, and the talent tried to stay out of it. And now, here it is, years later. I used to be a talent, still a talent, but in this situation, I was negotiating with Jim, who was the talent. So we closed the deal, and we got down to work, and I cannot tell you. I knew that it was going to be big. I knew that Jim was going to take the event to another level in the North American market. I knew that we were going to get some positive feedback, but it's blown me away. Just the media reach. It's like every day there's a new media hit that Jim's being requested of, or multiple media hits, and mainstream stuff. And so the online advertising and feedback has gone through the roof. But man, it just keeps growing literally daily. I can't wait for January 4th, and we're a couple of weeks away. But man, we couldn't be happier with the signing of Jim Ross.
Absolutely. And it's like wrestling fans of yesteryear who might not be fans anymore know the name Jim Ross. They know what he brings to the table, so that, that's going to bring additional fans. People are like, oh, he's coming back. Sweet. I'm checking that out. So it's really cool stuff. You're adding Matt Stryker to do color commentary alongside with him. That alone is going to be a great pay-per-view. And then to add to it, you've got action in the ring.
Yeah, and that's I've done a bunch of media and still got several more heading into January 4th. But, talking about that, and then, we'll be 20 minutes, 30 minutes into a podcast or an interview, and they'll say, and then he got begun to talk about the matches. And that's a good thing. Matt Stryker if I can, just for a minute, it just blew me away, and I've been asked why Matt. There were 6 or 7 not good but great candidates, but the prerequisites, Jim's driving the bus. He's the one that's going to be steering that ship. And so I needed someone that really 2 things. One, can they compliment Jim? Can they get out of Jim's way when need be? And Matt can certainly do that. They've worked together in the past. I felt real comfortable. Jim felt real comfortable. And the second thing was, you got to know the product. You got to immerse yourself in the product. And Matt, anybody can study up on these 10 matches and sort of wing it and get back. Mm-hmm. But Matt blew me away by his in-depth knowledge of, just how New Japan came about 42 years ago, and the stories and the ebbs and flows and the different ownerships and just all the American talent and all the Japanese talent through the years. Matt is he's going to. I mean, I think he's impressed people with his Lucha Underground work. Mm-hmm. He's going to blow people away with his knowledge of that product.
Absolutely, and the matches themselves, they'll speak for themselves and blow people away. Like you said, it's pretty much the WrestleMania over in Japan. Going to be an amazing show. We asked our listeners to contribute some questions for you, Mr. Jarrett. The number one question in some form or fashion that we received for you is, will we see a Global Force Wrestling roster with championships and weekly televised programming?
Yes, in 2015, we certainly will.
Awesome. Do we have like a preferable timetable, maybe spring, summer, fall?
One thing that and I understand that, the anticipation, the excitement, some people have the anxiety, some people maybe aggravation that, not enough information has been given out. But we've done that on purpose, strategically. I have learned from past things, watching things, being a part of things, not just wrestling, any type of product, brand. When you really rush something to market before it's ready, you can potentially have fatal mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so we at Global Force have a real strategic rollout mindset, just how we're going to, April 7th, I announced the name of the company. It was, April 30th, I announced the agreement with the AAA. June 23rd was New Japan. And then Europe, we made the announcement in July. And then South Africa in August. And late August was Australia. Spreading the brand, mm-hmm. rolling things out piece by piece, getting brand awareness, just brand awareness. And I love it. What is Global Force? And you said that, the majority of my questions were in some shape, form, or fashion, what is Global Force Wrestling? What are we going to see? That's great. I love that. I love that feedback, that there's anticipation, that the fan base cares, and they want to know. And so a next strategic step was obviously announcing the New Japan pay-per-view, and then the addition of Jim Ross, and then Matt Stryker. We've got an announcement coming up soon from our South African partners. And so, we have our eye on the ball, and really from January 4th, you back up 8 weeks, this has consumed us, and this is what we want the world to know about Global Force Wrestling, is we're presenting this event. After the event, we're going to continue to have the rollout and make the correct announcements.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with slow and steady. Helps everyone prepare. It builds anticipation. As far as Global Force Wrestling, you've worked in WCW, you've worked in WWE, you've worked in TNA. If there's a promotion, you've pretty much worked it. So, taking what you've learned from all of those promotions, to make an improvement, what improvements will we see? What's going to stand out from Global Force Wrestling above anything else?
Well, I don't want to get into too much show specifics. I'll save that for you viewers and when the show actually rolls out. But you can obviously see some fundamental differences in our presentation, in that in years past, promotions essentially act like other promotions don't exist, and if they do recognize them, they degrade them or talk bad about them. Mm-hmm. At Global Force, we're 180 degrees different. We are not only going to recognize other promotions around the world, we're going to help promote. Just a couple of weeks ago on Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, that Sunday, we used our digital space and social media to help promote them. Ring of Honor is a part of the New Japan Dome show. So we believe that it's healthy for the industry, it's healthy for Global Force, it's healthy for the other promotions to recognize, help promote, and that is a big fundamental difference.
Definitely, and there seems to be sort of a shift going on in the wrestling world. The eyes are being focused more on the indie circuit as opposed to what's going on up in the big leagues. Now that Generico, Steen, Divot, Pac, Kenta, they've all joined, WWE, and people were seeing these guys for the first time. And so that's causing them to go back, look at previous matches and be like, I wonder who else is out there, who's going to be the next big guy. Do you think that this is going to add more pressure to the indie circuits to push their talent further and maybe too much?
The short answer to your question is no. I don't think it will put additional pressure because there's guys that are going to flat out do what they want to do. Some get good advice, some get bad advice. The term indie, I believe, is almost passé. I think it's somewhat of a negative connotation to the word I'm using right now, which I really like, which I think is true. It's free agent.
Yeah.
Guys that are free to work for any promotion. And I believe with, just like you said, the Steen and Fergal Divitt and these guys that have come from the quote-unquote independent scene, it's just a testament, like I've said for the last 8 or 9 months since I've really got out here and really studied it. The independent scene, the free agent market is very, very healthy. And I think it shows that in North America you have Ring of Honor with their syndicated deal. Congrats to TNA. They got their Destination America deal. You've got Axis bringing New Japan. You've got El Rey with Lucha Underground. Global Force will be on the scene in 2015. So the business is healthy. The free agent market is healthy. And I think that didn't happen overnight. I think it's taken, many years. But as a promoter, I couldn't be happier.
As we're mentioning the free agents and stuff like that, NXT and WWE recently put on their takeover show. People were giving it very high praises, and then they said, okay, it's time for WWE, in a sense, to follow that, in which they felt that it fell flat. NXT seems to be putting on more basic wrestling storylines, just, I want the title, I'm going to fight you. It seems very simplistic, whereas in the higher roster, it feels... To me, at least, it feels like they're lost sometimes. What are your thoughts on storylines being presented in wrestling?
Well, and I hope you've got a chance to check out the multiple videos that Global Force Wrestling's airing on our YouTube channel. And one of them, Jim Ross refers to not overthinking it, the basics, the fundamentals. Global Force is going to really have a core fundamental that guys are going to step into the ring. Sure, you're going to have pageantry. Sure, you're going to have characters and larger than life. That's what the business has always been about. But it's going to be about competition and a 1, 2, 3. In New Japan, over the last 36 to 48 months, it all it culminates at the Dome on January 4th. They do very fundamental basics, and there have. And look, every person who's ever been a part of matchmaking, creative, booking, whatever you want to call it, tends to outthink themselves at times. And that NXT show wasn't outthought. And it didn't surprise me when I saw Pat Patterson, because Pat Patterson knows what he's doing, flat out. And so the matchmakers at New Japan, they certainly knew that, okay, Okada and Tanahashi are megastars, and they're going for the title, and let's not outthink it. And it's going to be, Jim said it, it may be the best main event he's ever called. That takes in a lot of ground. I mean, when you really think about that one statement, it may be the best main event that Jim Ross has ever called. That's 15, 20 WrestleManias. That's Clash of Champions. That's umpteen Royal Rumbles. That's SummerSlam. Many, many Monday Night Raw, fantastic main events. When you think about that, then to me, it almost says it all. January 4th is a can't-miss event. And it's about the basics of wrestling.
Absolutely. It's going to be a huge event. There's going to be championships up for grabs, Red Dragon versus Forever Hooligans, the Time Splitters, and the Young Bucks. That's certainly going to be an exciting matchup.
If we can talk on that just for a little bit, because when you talk about it may be the best main event that Ross ever calls, it's going to be interesting to hear Jim Ross call that four-corner match, because those four guys, it's nonstop. It is Young Bucks are the best tag team in wrestling today. They're wrestling 2015 beyond. That match on a different spectacle will be maybe one of the best tag matches that the world's ever seen. Those guys can live up to the hype. They're all very, very competitive individuals as teams as well as individuals. That match, people ask me, what are the matches you're looking forward to? The main event, and even if you don't know Okada and Tanahashi, I tell the wrestling fan that asks me, Imagine your most favorite rivalry. I don't care if it's Flair and Steamboat or Savage and Steamboat or Hogan Andre or Austin Rock, Cena Orton, Jarrett Angle, whatever your favorite rivalry ever was. Imagine these two guys, Okada Tanahashi, and then the opening match, the Four Corners tag match. And then the third one to me is, and this is a little bit near and dear to my heart, but also it is sort of the cap of the year of AJ Styles, what he had. AJ, stepped away from his comfort zone. He went out on his own, and he took over, and he rose to the occasion. And AJ, and this takes in a lot of ground too, I think this is probably the best year of AJ's career. And so his match in the Dome against Naito, and Naito's he's a main event player, but he's really trying to break through to that Okada level. And so those two guys, that'll be a match for the ages as well.
The one line that I did like, that thoroughly enjoyed, that Jim Ross gave in the promotional video, is that this is a song. The wrestlers in the ring provide the music. He's just hoping to provide the correct lyrics. And that's something that really speaks to me, because you want the product as a whole to be memorable, and it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, and that line has resonated with a lot of people, me included. That I've repeated that line on a few of my podcasts and print interviews, digital interviews, and that is really what this event has all come about. Global Force and New Japan and the pay-per-view and the Flips app and the stars have aligned, and then Jim Ross and the main event and just everything. It's come down to, if you're a wrestling fan, you can't miss it. You cannot miss this event. Sure, there's TV shows and other pay-per-views and different things that you go, it's not going to be the end of the world if I don't see this.
Mm-hmm.
This, you're going to be wanting, and you're going to, and I've told a lot of people that I've done interviews with and business associates and people that I'm dealing with on some sponsorships that are a little bit new to this business, so to speak. And I asked them, "You going to watch it?" And all of them, "Hell yeah!" And I said, "You don't have to lie to me. I can't check your cable bill. You going to watch it?" I said, "When are you going to watch it?" And just about 9 out of 10 of them say, "I'm watching it live."
Mm-hmm.
That's where it resonates down deep in my promoter soul, is that, yep, it is truly a can't miss event. They're going to stay up and just all night to watch it.
And it's a 4-hour event at that.
Yep.
So it's going to be nonstop action.
4-hour event, and priced at the right. That was when all those decisions were going on. There was a strong contingent internally and externally saying, that's really going to be the price. It's not going to be $44.95. It's not going to be $49.95. Just because society with UFC and the Mayweather fights and the big boxing fights and they're $69.95. They're way up there.
Yeah.
No, for the wrestling fan, $34.95 is the right price in my opinion.
Absolutely, and we will definitely be watching it as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to watch it live, but I will definitely. But we will be catching the 7 p.m. showing. Definitely looking forward to it. You're going to be in action as well, as part of the Bullet Club.
That all came about the last 4 to 5 weeks. They approached me, and I've had my promoter hat on 100% during this situation up until about 4 or 5 weeks ago when they approached me, and I'm like, well, how in the hell do you turn down Wrestling on the Dome show? Absolutely, I'd love to. So it's fallen into place, and my Bullet Club brothers, Takahashi and Bad Luck Fale, and then we're facing guys, and this is a real side story here, but it's no secret. Scott Steiner's been one of my best friends in the business for years and years and years. And when him and his brother had his real hot run in Japan, I can remember, he'd go over there, and I think it's 20 or 22 weeks a year, and he really wasn't wrestling on the scene in the States, but some of his biggest rivals and best matches were tag matches against Kojima and Tenzin. And now here it is in 2015, I get to step in the ring with those guys. So I'm honored.
Very cool. I know your time is limited, but I feel like I have to ask you this question. Otherwise, the person who asked it will kick my ass. Could you tell us about the origins of slap nuts?
Oh boy, a bunch of times. It's simple. My grandmother, who she's the one who got us into this business. She took a side job in the 1940s selling wrestling tickets to make extra money, and then she worked her way up in this business. She did everything but wrestle. She ended up promoting and owning part of the promotion with my father, and so she worked her way up in modern day era. Now you would call it as the chief financial officer. She ran the back end of the business. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine she's around all kind of characters, and she's a woman who made it big time in a man's world through hard work and perseverance. But one thing that agitated her were people, and she'd say, I don't like people who talk more and more about less and less. and she called them slappies. And so I took slappies and turned it into slap nuts.
Very nice. It's always good to find out the origin stories behind certain things, and that's one that's I think a lot of people will enjoy.
The best slap nut story when it first came out was the powers that be at WCW standards and practices. The attorneys, they had to make sure language and they policed the show. It was a live show. Nitro was a live show, and they just you got to be careful. And I get all that, but after about week 2 or week 3, and we were in Detroit, and there was way up in the crowds, there was a group of guys, however many of them, one of them 8, each of them had a letter, slap nuts, and I'm like, okay, this thing is exploding, it's taking off. And after the show, Jarrett, I'm headed down the long hallway, and the attorney comes up to me and said, hey, can I talk to you a minute? I said, yeah. He said, I just got to ask you. He said, we're trying to do a little research here, and what is a slap nut? And I'm like, oh, my God. I said, you really do live in a cubicle. If you don't know what a slap nut is, I feel for you. Go look it up in the dictionary. And I walk off. And he goes, wait a minute. Are you serious? And I couldn't keep a straight face, but I tried.
Very nice. That's awesome. Well, we certainly appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot more media to cover before Global Force Wrestling presents. God, that's twice I've done that. Presents WrestleKingdom 9.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. You're going to be presenting WrestleKingdom 9 in the Tokyo Dome on Sunday, January 4th. It's going to be a live pay-per-view at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Replay is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You can also watch it on the Flips app. Go to globalforcewrestling.com for more information on that. You can follow Mr. Jarrett at Real Jeff Jarrett and at GFW Wrestling. Mr. Jarrett, it has been an honor. Best of luck to you on Sunday, January 4th in Tokyo. You all have a great time, and we certainly look forward to seeing what Global Force Wrestling has for the future.
Dude, that is a wrap. You got in Twitter, website, Flips app, everything. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. And be watching on January 4th.
Awesome.
We will be presenting the show.
Very good. Thank you very much.
This is what professional wrestling is all about.
On Sunday, January 4th, Global Force Wrestling presents
What a night! What athletes! What an event!
the worldwide professional wrestling spectacular
What a way to kick off 2015!
that only happens once a year live from the Tokyo Dome in Japan. WrestleKingdom 9.
WrestleKingdom 9! It just doesn't get any bigger!
Showcasing the best wrestling on the planet.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and there's nowhere I'd rather be than ringside in Tokyo.
In what will be the wrestling pay-per-view event of the year.
This is pro wrestling like it was meant to be.
Global Force Wrestling presents New Japan Pro Wrestling's WrestleKingdom 9. Live from the Tokyo Dome, Sunday, January 4th, exclusively on pay-per-view.
WrestleKingdom 9 on pay-per-view. The world will be watching.
So very cool stuff. Very happy that Mr. Jarrett could join us on the show this week. So, if you're tired of the WWE product or anything like that, definitely check out New Japan Pro Wrestling WrestleKingdom 9. It's going to be an awesome show. Jim Ross on the card. What more do you need? There's going to be matches as well. So really cool stuff. Happy to have him on. Make sure to go to globalforcewrestling.com for all the information on that. Now it's time to go to the hot topics for you all. Edge and Christian going to be hosting Raw next week. The go-home show for the 2014 year. Sad to see the
I wonder
year
how long
go.
we're gonna be doing this until Triple H and Stephanie come back.
Probably they'll have special guests and stuff like that to
John Cena has to make the call.
Yep. So, I mean, will they do that?
we'll probably find an angle.
I'm very confused as to
Why would they have that stipulation?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They're not. It's oddly. It would be showing an odd amount of foresight from the WWE to build in like an escape hatch from the angle. Also, Rollins mentions it every week, so it's like they're reminding you. Like,
by the way,
sure. So
life would be so much greater.
So I find it hard to believe they're not coming back because I felt like they paid enough attention to like a way of bringing them back and to reminding you what happened to not for that not to happen. I think like in my mind, the only likely scenario is like you present Cena with them being the lesser of two evil options. Like that's the only way. But I don't know how you get there or why you would even care to get there.
Cena turns heel and
sure.
People power. Yeah, that's what we need. So yeah, but be on the lookout for Edge and Christian next week for the benefit of flash photography. For those of you who are NXT fans, looks like Adrian Neville might be called up to the main roster soon. Did you guys hear about the rumor of a potential gimmick for him when he gets called up? Something to do with Mighty Mouse.
Well, people are like overplaying that. People are overplaying that as like he's gonna be a Mighty Mouse.
Right.
He's just a small guy who's gonna be.
Yeah.
He's
like Mighty Mouse.
He's short and he's fucking jacked, just like
yes.
Yes, he is.
Doesn't mean he's gonna be a mouse.
He's a bulky dude.
I can understand the hesitation with them actually having a bunny on the roster right now, or at least not on the roster, but on the show. But you know, what are you guys bumping?
Don't worry about it. It's good.
Fuck y'all.
I like it. Something that you would not find humorous at all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
You don't want to hear it.
yeah, other bit of hot topic news. TNA has announced a best.
Oh wait, before you go to TNA, did you see the finish? Like, did you see the Steen Neville main event?
I did.
Isn't that an odd finish? I get that you don't want to, because
You don't want to make either guy look weak.
sure, that's a weird finish there, right? Especially for his first, like it's technically his second match, but his first real match. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
He doesn't care about wins or losses. He just wants to fight.
I just thought it was a weird finish. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It was just weird.
was
Double
the-
count out.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gave him the apron powerbomb too.
Yeah.
To put Zayn out for a few.
You know what's so cool? Some people made them in WWE 2K15. So I got Hideo Itami, I got Finn Balor, I got
Are they good? Are they good though?
they all look all right,
Mhm.
but Kevin Owens is really fun to play with. They have some moves I didn't even know they fucking had in there. That one where he does that pump handle slam into like the neck goes into like your knee. They have that in the game. They have the package pile driver. They have like it's cool. They have the thing where they have a lot of cool stuff. It's fun. He's really fun to play as Kevin Owens.
Nice.
You don't go when you do your creator wrestlers. You don't go through all the moves and see what they have.
Well, when I download them, I really don't. I play as them
Oh,
first.
I mean, like when you make your guys, you don't go through the list just to see.
Yeah, I mean when I create one,
You're creating John Dynamite.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who's the only one I create? Because I've been downloading a lot of people.
He's nothing compared to Danny Destro.
Yeah. But no,
My guy's going up the ranks.
I download those guys and it's cool. And I put Hideo and Finn as a tag team.
Nice. Good stuff. Oh. Doug, who's your created character?
I don't have a name. I can't settle on a name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What
Plus,
about
they didn't let me. When I went to
Big
the
Doug.
NXT, it doesn't say like name the guy.
Big Champs.
It doesn't say like usually they give you a spot to put the guy's name or whatever.
For what?
When you do my career or whatever,
Mhm.
it didn't give me a spot to pick his name, and it automatically defaulted to the superstar. So that's what it says on my entrances. I don't even
Maybe
see.
you have to unlock that.
I don't even see where you change it at. I went
No.
through the whole menu system.
Shouldn't be able to.
I don't see
For the NXT thing.
I was
mode?
able to.
my career stuff. It didn't let me pick my name. Like I didn't name him anything.
That's weird.
Yeah, no
You
name.
might want to go to, like, see if you can edit that somewhere.
Well, I looked
Oh,
through the
no.
menus. I didn't see even where they let you select that. And also, like, it says the announcer says your name when you come out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't let me pick that either. It just defaulted
The
to.
superstar.
Yeah, that's what it's.
You know what?
default-
Also, I noticed that you could do, say, if you create an alternate attire or another Daniel Bryan or whatever,
Hmm.
they have on the list. It says Bryan. There's one, and there's Danielson. So you can switch to
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Cool. So there you go. So TNA news. TNA has announced the Best of TNA series that's going to be airing on Destination America. They're going to have shows like the Best of Sting, Best of Kurt Angle, Best of Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, The Knockouts, Bully Ray, RVD, and Mr. Anderson. So if you have Destination America, make sure to check your cable. You got to talk in the mic. Come on, man. Best of who? Primetime's who?
Elix Skipper.
Elix Skipper. I did not see that. But it's not
He's making a joke. They don't have one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Bravo. I take that fist bump back.
Take it back.
Take it back. So, time with that being said, it's time to go to the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Parker saying, "Hey guys, thanks for the feedback. I have two questions. One, how do you feel about Kevin Owens' heel turn and double count out against Neville?" No.
Well, I thought it makes sense from the story because he's saying, "Hey, I knew all these guys. They got there first, so it bothers me." But I still felt like it's a weird way to give him his first real proper match. His first match was mostly just a squash match, really.
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird finish. I would argue he debuts as a heel. I mean, is this really a turn? I would argue he's essentially been a heel the whole
But he
time.
had the emotional bonding of giving a hug.
But he was just that was his devious setup to just
Yeah.
well, maybe not. Maybe that's what set him off.
Yeah.
But
It's like, you can't be weak.
I don't know.
Weak sauce.
South spouse.
I would argue it's not a turn. I would argue he just debuts as a heel.
Okay. Yeah, and I figured out of the five people who the big five, you got Neville, Zayn, Balor, Hideo, and Owens. I figured Owens would probably come in as a heel. So I was kind of shocked to see him
they're all
come in
baby
and-
faces.
Yeah. So you got to have one at least come in as a heel.
Did you feel like the crowd lost? I feel like these people who are all fuck yeah, Kevin Owens, maybe didn't expect him to be as much of a brawler as he was. Do you feel like they lost him in the match a little bit when he was did a lot of brawling?
I don't know.
I feel
I'll have
like
to go back and rewatch it.
I don't know.
But it was an entertaining match. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think the double count out, you got to make both guys look strong.
I get that.
It's strange.
Just being so new, it feels like a weird finish, right?
Yeah, but I mean, do you want to have Owens in his second match beat the previous champ who had held the title for, close to a year? Or?
No, but what I'm saying is if he's so new that it feels weird that you're having to protect weird guys. And they hot shotted his angle so fast.
Oh yeah.
It feels weird to
debut championship match.
Sure.
By the way.
Well, not really, but
close. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it feels
like
it
be in that level.
Sure. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just so against how they do things that it's it just
Strange to
feels
see.
weird.
That's
feels
why it's gonna work.
Sure. No argument. I mean, it's interesting for sure. I mean, I'm down to watch. It just feels weird.
Yeah. You down with NXT?
You got the network?
No. Yes.
Yeah, he shares the password with us.
Yeah.
There you go. So thank you, Parker. Second question, what device do you watch the WWE Network on? I watch it on my laptop, but ever since SummerSlam, pay-per-views barely work on my laptop and only works 50-50 on the Xbox. However, always works on the phone.
Daniel, we usually watch the pay-per-views with Daniel's on the PlayStation.
Yes, PlayStation 4.
Seems to work fine.
Yeah.
I watch on.
There'll be a hiccup every now and then.
Sure.
But, I mean,
I think that streaming technology is not perfect yet.
Not perfect. But
I either watch it on PS4 or on my phone.
yeah. I'll either watch it on my laptop or my PlayStation. Good stuff.
You will watch on your Roku box.
You will watch it on whatever I want to watch. So thank you for the question. Final question tonight coming from Seth Rickson saying, if you guys had a wrestling Christmas gift, what feud or match would you guys want to see? I mean, other than the Punjabi prison matches, I would like to see McMahon versus Punk, as I think it would be a good match tech-wise, and also good story-wise, as both would or could carry and elevate a shoot angle.
There's actually a match coming up that there's actually gonna be a few fresh matches, but I think it's after Christmas. But it's actually Christopher Daniels versus Alberto El Patron. I think that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Fresh matches of people that you've seen in different organizations that finally come together and fight each other is really exciting to me. Whenever Booker T was part of TNA, and I mean, it was an all right match, but I was super pumped for Samoa Joe Booker T feud because it was so new.
Yeah. Something fresh. Something new. Something wow. How about you, Doug?
Well, Tyler was talking about Alberto El Patron, like, coming to work Ring of Honor shows. I don't think they've announced it, but I suspect that. Yeah, I'm trying to look at their site now. I don't think that they announced it, but it would be pretty fucking stupid to not do, if politics don't get in the way, which it probably would with AJ being like featured so heavily in New Japan. It'd be stupid not to do Patron versus AJ Styles.
Ooh.
But the match I personally really want to see Alberto El Patron in is against Kyle O'Reilly, which they have the power to pull off. I don't know how likely it is because O'Reilly's basically just a tag team wrestler in Ring of Honor right now, teaming with Bobby Fish and Red Dragon. So I don't know that they would pull the trigger on that, but I think it's stupid. Like whenever they bring a guy in like that, they always do the now, like the guest star against their now top stars, and
ACH.
You always want to do like against a young. Yes, they're doing ACH, but you always want to also put them against like a guy who's going to be like a main player like in the future. And they are doing that with ACH, but I think still stylistically the better matchup is Kyle O'Reilly, and that's what I really want to see El Patron again.
I actually want to see
former guest Kyle O'Reilly. Would you know what episode that was on?
Oh,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Drop some knowledge on us, Thomas.
That was a long time ago. That was 2011, early episodes.
Also, I really, really fucking, which is not going to happen because they're in different promotions that don't have working agreements. I really want Shingo Takagi versus Michael Elgin really bad. They're just two big fucker dudes who would hit each other hard, and that's really just what I like to see. But never going to happen, or at least not right now. Elgin versus Shingo, Patron versus Kyle O'Reilly.
I kind of wanted to see, Jay Briscoe versus El Patron.
That could be fun.
Could be. Definitely. Let's see. Shit. Where is O'Reilly? There he is. Let's see. Episode 36.
Damn.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, September 16, 2011 is when I posted.
What episode are we on?
Huh?
What episode are we on?
206.
2000. Whoa, man.
I thought you were like, what year are we in? I was like, oh. 206. So it's been
quite a while.
Yeah, quite some time. So the good stuff. Yeah. So by the way, I know we don't really plug this too often, but if you ever want to go back and listen to some of our previous interviews, just go to our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. We have an album called Guests on Our Podcast, where you can just go in there. They've got we got a list, all the pictures of a bunch of guests that we've had on the show. You can go back and just click on one and just have a great time and listen to them. Like we got Maria Kanellis, Ron Simmons, Tara, Scott Norton, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Greg the Hammer Valentine, DDP, Booker
wrestlers
T.
from ROW.
Yeah, we got ROW, we got ROH, we've got TNA, we've got WWE, we got a lot of good stuff. Now, and we'll be adding Jeff Jarrett to the mix here coming up.
I heard a rumor that we're going to be adding someone to the list next week.
We most certainly are.
Can you confirm or deny that rumor?
I can absolutely confirm because we are going to be having a special guest on the show next week. You don't want to miss that one. We had Jeff Jarrett on, which is huge in of itself, and we certainly appreciate Mr. Jarrett coming on the show, taking some time out of his day to talk about WrestleKingdom 9. Next week on the show, I think this is going to be a big one, especially since 2014 is coming to a close. We're going to have the 2014 WWE Superstar of the Year, Roman Reigns, gonna be on the show next week. Don't want to miss that one.
And you can believe in that.
Believe that damn straight, because we pulled it off. Don't ask how. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask
You're
questions.
better off not knowing. But Roman Reigns gonna be on the show next week. So for those of you who have stuck around through the entire show, special treat for you all. So definitely going to want to tune in for that.
Especially don't ask them about it.
Yeah, don't ask them. Don't ask, don't tell. All that good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast, and Twitch.tv/WNS Podcast as well.
We're also on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Hook 'em horns. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
What are you doing over there?
I don't know. I'm doing the Hook 'em horns sound.
Getting ready for next week. Getting ready for next week. Get the fist flying. Yeah.
What?
Where can you follow us, Doug?
Version 1. Matt Hardy.
You are doing some weird things over there.
Yeah? You got to finish it up.
I can't even think when you guys are doing that.
I can't think while you're fisting.
Stop fisting. Hang on. You fist me, I'll fist you.
Hold on. We don't have Twitch still, do we? Follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast. That's the podcast. Follow it.
Yes.
Woohoo. Follow Daniel at WNS _Daniel.
This guy.
Follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
He's not even close to 1 million. You're up to 39, though.
Am I?
Yeah, you went from 38 to 39. So we are on the rise.
Oh, yeah. I can
Good
feel
stuff.
it.
Yeah, you can feel the power.
Feel the power.
Oh, yeah. Just feel it. Yeah, there you go. So thanks for listening. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Moneymaker Mike.
I'm a certified G.
And we will catch you all next week.
On Sunday, January 4th, it's a worldwide professional wrestling spectacular that only happens once a year live from the Tokyo Dome in Japan. WrestleKingdom 9.
There's nowhere I'd rather be than ringside in Tokyo. What a night. What athletes. What an event.
Global Force Wrestling presents New Japan Pro Wrestling's WrestleKingdom 9, live from the Tokyo Dome, Sunday, January 4th, exclusively on pay-per-view.